It's time to creep back into theaters once again in silence, ladies and gentlemen. A Quiet Place, day one. It's time to talk about it. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Klepcx here for wearecritix.com and the X Screen podcast, filling in for my homegirl M. And today we are here to talk about, breakdown, and review A Quiet Place Day One. That's right. Originally directed and co-written by John Krasinski, conceptualized by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. And now it is being helmed in a prequel sort of situation by Michael Sarnowski. Before I talk about what did I think about this film, let me give you guys a little breakdown of what this version of the story is. It is a bit of a prequel situation, which stars Lupita Nyong'o, Digimon Hansu, sorry. Josh Quinn, for those Stranger Thing fans, that's right. Eddie Munson is in the building doing this thing on the big screen, and Alex Wolff, who a lot of us will probably remember from either Jumanji or the Boston Marathon movie, which escapes my mind. I can't even remember the name of it, and I'm from Massachusetts. How about that? Anyhow, this film follows Lupita's character. She's in a bit of a hospice situation with a terminal illness that I don't really remember what it is. She just talks about the symptoms, really, but I don't really ever recall hearing what the actual illness was. She's attached to this cat, and we see that in the trailer. For their particular reason, they end up going to the big city, into the city, and they immediately invaded by the monstrosity that we are all aware of. Things come out about how to survive as the story goes on, yada yada yada. The end. That's pretty much the film. Now, before I talk about the not so good things that I feel about this film, I'll tell you that you're gonna get all the same beats. This film, the jump scares are at the same level. I actually counted for a friend. They wanted to know exactly, how many jump scares should they be aware of. So I did the best counting that I could, and I think that I probably got about 10 to 15, maybe 15 to 20 jump scares. If you're that edgy when you watch certain scary films or suspense thrillers such as these. Some of them are really good. Some of them land very well. Some, whatever. You kind of expect it, especially when you're used to seeing this kind of thing. The monsters seem a little more in your face in this film. You definitely get a lot more uh, of a better look at the monsters than what we've gotten in the previous films. A lot of times you just kind of see them in the distance and they come in and swoop and grab somebody and disappear. This one, they're like really, really up in your face. So I kind of enjoyed that about this film. The acting in this movie is top notch. You got some really great heavy hitters in this. Some really emotional moments in this thing where you'll really connect with the human storyline that is in this film. If it's not Lupita, it's definitely Josh Quinn, who, that guy, man, he's on his way. Like I give that guy all his praises because of him just kind of coming out of nowhere and being like such a fan favorite in the previous things that he's done, and now he's on the big screen doing this thing, and he's shining. He's amongst heavy hitters, and he's not playing the sideline at all in this film, which I really, really enjoy his chemistry between him and Lupita. Even just barely no dialogue, guys and girls. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, but yeah, I mean, as far as a quiet place and a quiet place movie, this thing has everything that you're probably going to expect as far as monsters, jump scares, and edge of your seat situations. Now, how I really feel about this movie, particularly not my favorite of the series. This may very well be the weakest of the series. Um, just ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to get what you think you're going to get. The title will kind of throw you off. It's called Quiet Place Day One, and it may be day one, but I can say that the movie spans across 3 days, and you don't get that day one experience. It kind of feels exactly like we felt with the previous films, where they kind of just drop you into the situation and everybody figures out what to do to survive without any explanations and then the story just kind of trucks along. Yeah, and that's the thing that I really didn't like about it. It really bothered me, more than I expected it to do. Because I mean, honestly, it's a great concept. They did their thing with the first two. I really love the first two, but I'm thinking like by the third time, even though it's a prequel, by the third time, you should be giving us something a lot different. And we don't get the explanations. We don't get um the how, the why, the the what. Like we don't. There's a lot of things missing from the story, and you're kind of just stuck with this cute yet terrifying story about a woman who is on the edge of life and on the crossroads mentally, emotionally, and you get a journey about her and her cat and strangers that she meets along the way. And to bring Digimon back into the mix, because a lot of people may not remember that he's actually in A Quiet Place too, towards the third act. But he meets his demise in that, but we also get him in A Quiet Place Day One, so we kind of we barely get a glimpse of his his origin in this film. But yeah, I just feel like there's so much left on the table with this. And I mean, maybe they'll use that as an excuse to do another one. But I will tell you this, after this one, I was just kind of like tapped out. I was like, I mean, this is the third go around. If you're not going to give me something, then whatever. I'll get to the next one when I get to the next one. But that doesn't mean that you may not enjoy it. A lot of people there might be still something there for them to chew on. Because, like I said, it isn't a Quiet Place movie. I just wouldn't have called it A Quiet Place Day One. Feels more like a spinoff. Feels more like this would have been great as a spinoff TV series broken up into episodes to kind of show a gist of what was happening somewhere else in the world during this. But it doesn't feel grand or epic enough to be on the big screen to bring people out. The name, the brand the trailer's great, but afterwards it might be a little lackluster for a lot of people. I know it was for me. It could be different for you. So please, when you do check it out, let me know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Are you super excited to see A Quiet Place Day One, like I was, or like like a lot of people are? Let me know. Like, comment, share. Make sure you subscribe. And for more movie news, television news, and pop culture, make sure you guys are checking out wearecritix.com. Following X Screen Podcast, where we talk about all things spooky, terrifying, and horror. And I will talk to you all later. Peace.